You spend money on mulch every spring. You haul it, spread it, watch it fade, and do it all again next year. And the whole time, bare soil is still finding ways to grow weeds right through it. What if you replace that annual mulch budget with seeds? Living plants that cover the ground permanently, look beautiful all season, build your soil instead of depleting it, and come back on their own year after year without a single bag of bark chip in sight. Today, we are counting down 9 seeds that do exactly that. Plant them once, and your mulching days are over. Let us get into it. Before we start, if you are new here, hit subscribe and tap the bell for fresh garden content every week. If this video saves you a trip to the garden center with a flatbed trolley full of mulch bags, drop a like before you leave. All right, 9 seeds that replace mulch forever. Let us go. Mulch has real value. It retains moisture, regulates soil temperature, and suppresses weeds temporarily. But it is also an annual or biennial expense that fades, washes away, blows off slopes, compacts over time, and does nothing for soil biology the way living roots do. The moment a mulched area thins, weeds find their way back. It is an ongoing battle rather than a permanent solution. Living mulch, low-growing plants that cover the soil surface completely, offers everything bark mulch does and more. Continuous moisture retention, soil temperature regulation, genuine weed suppression through root competition and canopy shading, and active soil improvement through root activity and organic matter contribution. Every seed on today's list was chosen because it covers ground densely, looks beautiful, and maintains itself with minimal ongoing effort. Let us meet them. 1. Creeping Thyme, Thymus serpulum T. Praecox. Creeping thyme is the living mulch champion for hot, dry, sunny areas where conventional mulch burns off fastest. It forms a dense, fragrant mat just 1 to 2 inches tall that covers the soil surface so completely that weed seeds cannot find light or bare soil to germinate. It thrives in the leanest, most challenging sunny positions: slopes, pathway edges, gravel gardens, between stepping stones, and the baking exposed beds where bark chips bleach and blow away within a season. In late spring, it erupts in pink-purple flowers that bees love intensely. The rest of the year, it remains a tight, evergreen, fragrant carpet that looks maintained without any maintenance. Sow seeds directly onto prepared soil in or fall and water during germination. A packet of seed covers many times the area that the equivalent investment in mulch would. Raw how to sow. Direct sow onto the soil surface in spring or early fall. Do not cover seeds as they need light to germinate. Thin to 6 to 9 inch spacings once established. Water during germination and early establishment. Then leave it alone. In established plantings, shear lightly after bloom to maintain density. Mulch benefit: creates the flattest, most soil-hugging permanent weed barrier available in any fragrant ground cover. The dense mat shades the soil surface so completely that weed seeds have nowhere to germinate and no light to grow. Once established, a creeping thyme mat outcompetes virtually all weed species in lean, dry, sunny soil, and improves in coverage and density every season without any additional seed or mulch investment. Seed fact. Creeping thyme has been used as a fragrant pathway plant in European gardens since at least the medieval period, when monastery gardens planted it between stepping stones so that every footstep would release its fragrance. The volatile thymal compounds released when the plant is crushed or walked upon are the same antimicrobial compounds used in Listerine mouthwash and traditional herbal medicine preparations for centuries. Lysa, watch out, does not tolerate shade or consistently wet soil. In shaded positions or heavy clay that holds moisture, the mat thins dramatically and loses its weed suppression effectiveness entirely. Full sun and sharp drainage are the non-negotiable requirements. In partial shade, substitute white clover or sweet alyssum from this list for comparable ground coverage. 2. White clover, Trifolium repens. White clover is the most functionally impressive living mulch on this list because it does something no bark chip can. It actively improves your soil while covering it. As a nitrogen-fixing legume, white clover hosts rhizobium bacteria in root nodules that capture atmospheric nitrogen and convert it into plant-available nutrients, effectively fertilizing surrounding plants and the soil continuously without any intervention. It forms a dense, low mat of attractive trifoliate leaves, produces white flowers that are among the most important nectar sources for honeybees and bumblebees, tolerates light foot traffic, and self-seeds prolifically to maintain permanent coverage. Sow directly onto prepared soil in early spring, and it establishes rapidly in virtually any soil type in full sun to part shade. One of the most cost-effective, ecologically productive, and low-maintenance ground covers available from seed. Ram how to sow. Broadcast seeds onto prepared, raked soil surface in early spring or fall. Lightly rake in or tamp down to ensure good soil contact. Water until established. Mow or trim occasionally to prevent it becoming too tall in formal settings. Self-seeds freely to maintain coverage. Inoculate seed with rhizobium inoculant for fastest nitrogen fixation establishment. Bulb. Mulch benefit. Covers soil densely to suppress weeds while simultaneously fixing atmospheric nitrogen into the soil at rates of 50 to 200 pounds of nitrogen per acre per year, providing continuous free fertilizer to surrounding plants and improving soil structure through active root biology. No mulch product offers soil-building benefits remotely comparable to what white clover does as a living cover. Moss seed fact. White clover seeds are so small that a pound contains approximately 800,000 individual seeds, making it one of the most efficient living mulch investments by seed weight of any plant on this list. Despite this tiny seed size, it establishes rapidly and aggressively, often visible as germination, within 5 to 7 days of sowing in warm, moist conditions. One of the fastest establishing permanent ground covers available. Lyso watch out. Can spread into lawn areas and adjacent garden beds more aggressively than expected in fertile, moist conditions. In formal gardens with defined edges, install physical edging barriers and mow the margins regularly to prevent spread into areas where it is not wanted. In naturalistic gardens and meadow settings, the spreading tendency is an asset rather than a management challenge. 3. Sweet Alyssum, Lobularia maritima. Sweet Alyssum is the living mulch with the most sensory reward per square foot of coverage. A low, spreading annual that self-seeds so prolifically once established that it becomes a permanent garden presence, appearing every spring in exactly the positions that need ground cover, filling gaps between stepping stones, at the base of taller plants, along pathway edges, and in the cracks of paving. The tiny white, pink, or purple flowers produce a distinctive, intense honey fragrance most powerful on warm evenings. The dense, low carpet shades the soil surface effectively, retaining moisture and preventing weed germination. Research at vegetable farms has documented up to 75% reductions in aphid populations when sweet alyssum is interplanted, as its flowers attract parasitic wasps and hoverflies that prey on aphids and other pests. How to sow. Broadcast seed onto bare soil surface in spring or fall and press lightly to ensure soil contact. Do not cover seeds as they need light to germinate. Water until established. In hot climates, plants may go semi-dormant in midsummer. Cut back by half and water to trigger a fresh fall flush. Allow seed to set and shatter naturally at season's end to perpetuate the self-seeding cycle. Mulch benefit. Self-seeds sow freely in any garden soil that a single sowing establishes a permanent, self-renewing, honey-fragrant ground-level weed barrier that appears every season in naturalistic positions that look deliberately placed. Simultaneously provides one of the best documented beneficial insect habitats of any low-growing plant, reducing pest populations through natural predator attraction while covering the soil. Seed fact: sweet Alyssum is a member of the Brassicaceae family, the mustard family, making it a botanical relative of broccoli, cabbage, and kale. This family relationship means it is also a host plant for cabbage white butterfly larvae in large plantings near brassica crops. In vegetable gardens, interplant with awareness that its pest-attracting and pest-repelling effects operate simultaneously on different insect species. Watch out! In hot climates, Zone 8 and above, sweet Alyssum often goes semi-dormant through peak midsummer weeks, looking sparse and producing few flowers. This is temporary and normal. Cut back by half in midsummer, water thoroughly, and the plant rebounds with the return of cooler temperatures in September, often producing its densest, most fragrant fall display of the entire season. 4. Creeping Phlox, Phlox subulata. Creeping Phlox provides the most spectacular visual payoff of any living mulch on this list. A dense, evergreen mat of needle-like foliage that stays attractive. Through every season of the year, it transforms into an extraordinary carpet of vivid pink, purple, red, or white bloom. Every April and May so completely that the foliage below disappears for weeks. The mat spreads steadily outward by stem layering, rooting wherever stems touch soil, filling slopes, pathway edges, rocky banks, and the edges of retaining walls with permanent, weed-suppressing coverage that improves every year. It handles the lean, dry, well-drained conditions where mulch performs most poorly. Slopes where it washes away, gravel areas where it is impractical, and rocky beds where application is impossible. How to sow. Sow seeds in fall for spring germination, or start indoors 8 to 10 weeks before last frost. Seeds need cold stratification for best germination, so fall direct sowing onto prepared soil and allowing winter cold to stratify them naturally is the most reliable approach. Space seedlings, or established divisions 12 to 18 inches apart. Shear back by 1/3 immediately after spring bloom to maintain mat density. Mulch benefit. Evergreen year-round weed suppression in lean, dry, well-drained soil where mulch performs worst. The dense mat prevents weed seeds' contact with soil across all 12 months, not just during the growing season. Provides one of the most spectacular spring bloom displays available from any ground-covering plant, adding enormous ornamental value to what is functionally a weed suppression planting. Small seed fact. Creeping Phlox was one of the first North American wildflowers introduced to European garden design, with English plant collectors sending specimens to British gardens as early as the 1740s. It became a defining plant of the Victorian rock garden movement and remains one of the most widely sold spring flowering ground covers globally. Its popularity sustained for nearly 300 years of continuous garden use. Teliso, watch out, does not tolerate shade or poorly drained soil. In either condition, the mat thins dramatically and loses its weed suppression and ornamental effectiveness. Full sun and sharp drainage are the non-negotiable requirements for this plant. In clay soil, amend extensively with coarse grit before sowing or transplanting seedlings. 5. Ajuga. Ajuga reptans. Ajuga is the living mulch for gardeners with shaded beds, where mulch is most needed and most difficult to keep in place. It spreads via surface stolons that root wherever they touch bare soil, advancing methodically through garden beds from full sun to full shade in a self-directing, gap-filling habit that requires no intervention. The foliage is extraordinary. Near black obsidian in black scallop, tapestry cream pink burgundy in burgundy glow, or vivid variegated in numerous other cultivars, providing year-round color at ground level even in deep shade. In spring, vivid cobalt blue flower spikes emerge above the foliage, attracting pollinators at exactly the moment when they need early nectar most. As a living mulch, it performs most impressively in the positions where bark mulch fails fastest. Under trees where it washes away and dries out. How to sow. Start from transplants or divisions for fastest establishment, or direct sow seeds in spring. Germination from seed is slower and less reliable than starting from divisions. Space transplants 9 to 12 inches apart. Apply a light compost top dressing after planting to encourage aggressive stolon production and faster initial coverage. Water during establishment. Soil mulch benefit. Stolon base spreading fills bare soil automatically and continuously without any intervention, advancing into uncovered areas, rooting as it goes, and closing gaps between plants visibly within the first growing season. Functions as a permanent, self-renewing, living mulch in both sun and shade positions, including the deep shade under mature trees where maintaining mulch coverage is most difficult and most expensive. Not seed fact. Ajuga reptans has been used in European herbal medicine since the 16th century under the common name carpenter's herb, because woodworkers used the crushed leaves as a poultice to stop bleeding from tool injuries. The same plant, now grown as a decorative living mulch, has centuries of documented practical human use that predates its ornamental garden application by generations. Watch out. Ajuga can spread into lawn areas if planted at grass borders. Install a minimum 4-inch deep physical edging barrier along any lawn boundary to prevent runners from invading turf. Also susceptible to crown rot in poorly drained waterlogged soil. So good drainage is the most important site condition for long-term planting health. 6. Nasturtium, Tropaeolum majus. Nasturtium is the edible living mulch, a fast-growing, fast-covering annual that produces vivid orange, red, yellow, and cream flowers through frost while simultaneously spreading across bare soil to suppress weeds and retain moisture beneath its large, round, water-repellent leaves. The entire plant is edible. Leaves have a peppery watercress-like flavor, excellent in salads. Flowers are beautiful in both the garden and on a plate. And the seeds can be pickled as a caper substitute. Nasturtium attracts aphids strongly, which sounds like a negative but is actually a useful companion planting tool. It acts as a trap crop, drawing aphids away from vegetables and toward the nasturtium, where ladybugs and other predators then congregate, creating a self-regulating pest management system. Direct sow large seeds directly where you want them, and they establish in days. How to sow. Direct sow large seeds 0.5 to 1 inch deep after last frost, directly where you want the plants to grow. Seeds germinate within 7 to 10 days in warm soil. 12 to 18 inches apart as they spread vigorously. Do not fertilize. Lean soil produces the most flowers. Thin once established and use thinned seedlings in salads. Self-seeds in mild climates to return the following year. Mulch benefit. Fast growing. spreading coverage that shades bare soil with large, round leaves from early summer through frost, suppressing weeds through canopy shading and root competition, while providing continuous edible flowers and leaves that add ornamental and culinary value simultaneously. No other living mulch on this list provides comparable edible output alongside its weed suppression function. Seed fact: Nasturtiums were brought to Europe from Peru by Spanish explorers in the 16th century and became an immediate sensation in European gardens and kitchens. Thomas Jefferson grew them at Monticello and used both the flowers and leaves in salads. The name Nasturtium is Latin for nose twist, a reference to the peppery sensation the leaves and flowers produce, the same nasal reaction that gives the unrelated watercress its common name. Telsto, watch out. Nasturtium can attract and concentrate aphids to a degree that becomes overwhelming in very wet, shaded, or over-fertilized conditions. In these situations, the plant can become so aphid-infested that it collapses before completing its weed suppression function. Avoid rich soil, ensure good air circulation, and plant in full sun to minimize aphid pressure and maximize the plant's productive season. 7. Phacelia, Phacelia tannacetifolia. Lacy, Phacelia. Phacelia tannacetifolia is one of the best-kept secrets in living mulch gardening, a fast-germinating, fast-growing annual that covers bare soil rapidly with finely divided, lacy foliage and then erupts in vivid lavender blue flowers that are among the most powerful pollinator attractors available in any garden plant. Studies at agricultural research stations in the UK and Europe have consistently ranked Phacelia among the top 5 plants for honeybee and bumblebee attraction. And it is now used extensively on organic farms as a cover crop precisely because of its speed of establishment, effective soil coverage, and extraordinary pollinator support. Direct sow anytime from early spring through summer, and germination is so fast, often under a week in warm soil, that you can see coverage beginning within days. How to sow: direct sow onto the surface of bare, prepared soil from early spring through midsummer. Do not cover seeds. They need light to germinate. Broadcast evenly and water in. Germination occurs within 5 to 10 days in warm conditions. Allow plants to set seed and shatter naturally at the end of the season for self-seeding coverage the following year. Mulch benefit. One of the fastest establishing mulch options on this list, covering bare soil with dense, finely divided foliage within weeks of sowing, and then providing one of the most powerful pollinator-attracting bloom displays available in any annual ground cover. As a cover crop companion, it also suppresses nematodes in the soil, provides green manure when cut and incorporated, and improves soil structure through its extensive fine root system. Seed fact: Phacelia is not yet widely sold as an ornamental despite being genuinely one of the most beautiful blue-flowered annuals available. It is better known as an agricultural cover crop and green manure plant in Europe, where it has been used in organic farming systems for decades. Its extraordinary blue flower color is the result of delphinidin pigments produced at a specific cellular pH, the same pigment chemistry responsible for the blue color in cornflowers and delphiniums. Lyso, watch out. Phacelia can cause contact dermatitis in some sensitive individuals when handled in large quantities. The fine hairs on the leaves and stems carry mild irritants that cause skin reactions in people prone to plant contact sensitivities. Wear gloves when handling large amounts of plant material, particularly when incorporating it as green manure or clearing spent plants at season's end. 8. Calendula pot marigold. Calendula officinalis. Calendula is the living mulch that works as hard as it looks beautiful. fast germinating from direct seed. It covers bare soil quickly with attractive lobed foliage, then blooms in vivid orange, gold, and cream from early spring through the first hard frost in a long, almost uninterrupted display that makes it one of the most productive flowering ground covers available. The flowers are edible and medicinal, with documented anti-inflammatory properties used in skin care preparations for centuries. In the garden, calendula actively deters whiteflies, aphids, and asparagus beetles through root secretions and fragrant foliage, making it one of the most well-documented companion planting vegetables. Self-seeds freely to return the following year, gradually building a self-sustaining living mulch that costs nothing after the initial seed packet. How to sow. Direct sow seeds 0-25 inches deep in spring as soon as the soil can be worked. Calendula tolerates light frost and prefers cool conditions. Thin to 6 to 12 inches apart. Deadhead for continuous bloom, or allow some seed heads to mature and self-seed for the following season. In mild climates, sow in fall for winter to spring bloom. Mulch benefit. Fast establishing soil coverage with one of the longest continuous bloom seasons of any annual ground cover, early spring through hard frost, while actively deterring pests through root secretions and foliage compounds. Provides edible flowers for culinary use, medicinal compounds for skin preparations, and documented pest deterrents against whiteflies and aphids in the surrounding garden throughout the entire growing season. Thing seed fact. Calendula officinalis has been used in herbal medicine since at least the 12th century, documented in the writings of the German abbess Hildegard of Bingen. Its anti-inflammatory properties are supported by modern research confirming the presence of terpenoids, flavonoids, and other bioactive compounds in the flower petals. Calendula-based skin creams remain among the best-selling natural skin care products worldwide, generating hundreds of millions of dollars in annual sales from a flower commonly sown directly from a seed packet. So watch out. Calendula performs best in cool weather and can decline in extreme summer heat, looking tired and blooming less prolifically through the hottest midsummer weeks in zone 7 and above. In hot climates, cut back by 1/3 in midsummer and water to encourage a fresh fall flush. In cool summer climates, zones 5 through 6, calendula blooms prolifically from spring through fall without any intervention. 9. Buckwheat, Phagopyrum esculentum. Buckwheat is the fastest establishing living mulch on this entire list and one of the most versatile tools in the no-dig gardener's arsenal. Sow seeds onto bare soil, even recently cleared problem areas with compacted or depleted soil, and within days you have visible germination. Within 3 weeks, you have complete ground coverage. Within 6 weeks, you have a mass of attractive, heart-shaped leaves topped with clusters of tiny white flowers that attract more insect species per square meter than almost any other cover crop available. Buckwheat smothers weeds completely through shading. Its roots exude phosphorus solubilizing compounds that make phosphorus available to subsequent plants. And when cut and incorporated before seed set, it acts as a fast decomposing green manure that significantly improves soil organic matter. Then sow again immediately for continuous coverage. How to sow. Direct sow seeds 0.5 to 1 inch deep onto prepared or even rough-cleared soil from late spring through midsummer. Germination is extremely fast, 3 to 5 days in warm conditions. Coverage is complete within 3 weeks. Cut down before seed set at 6 to 8 weeks to use as green manure, or allow a proportion to set seed for natural self-seeding coverage. Reso, immediately after cutting for continuous coverage through the season. Mulch benefit. the fastest bare soil coverage of any living mulch on this list. Complete ground coverage within 3 weeks of sowing on virtually any soil, including poor, compacted, and depleted ground. Simultaneously improves soil phosphorus availability through root exudates, provides extraordinary insect and pollinator support through its prolific small flowers, and acts as rapid decomposing green manure when incorporated, leaving the soil measurably improved for the next planting. Moss seed fact: buckwheat is not a grain in the botanical sense, despite its culinary classification alongside cereals. It is actually a flowering plant in the Polygonaceae family, a relative of sorrel and rhubarb rather than wheat, oats, or barley. This distinction makes buckwheat flour naturally gluten-free, explains its distinctive flavor profile, and accounts for the different root chemistry that produces its soil-improving phosphorus solubilizing properties. Blake, watch out. Buckwheat is frost-tender and killed by even a light frost, so it cannot be used as a late-season living mulch in cold climates once frost risk returns in fall. Use it as a fast summer coverage crop and transition to a frost-hardy alternative like white clover or creeping thyme for year-round weed suppression. In frost-free climates, buckwheat can be maintained as a continuous, repeatedly sown living mulch through the full calendar year. And those are your 9 seeds that replace mulch permanently with something far better: living, self-renewing, soil-building ground coverage that looks beautiful, feeds pollinators, and gets more effective every season. From the fragrant evergreen mat of creeping thyme to the nitrogen-fixing power of white clover, the spectacular spring display of creeping phlox, Nasturtium, and the lightning-fast establishment of buckwheat, every seed on this list earns its place by doing more than mulch ever could. Buy the seeds once. The garden does the rest. Thank you so much for watching. If this is the effortless garden solution you have been looking for, hit that like button right now. Subscribe and tap the bell for new content every week. Drop a comment below about which of these 9 you are sowing first and what bare soil problem you are trying to solve. I read every comment. Until next time, cover the ground, feed the soil, and I will see you in the next one.